Welcome to the Freeland Fabricators Middle School Robotics Tool Review. This is intended as an introduction to different tools and starting today proper safety mindset.
This is not comprehensive of all the potential hazards. Please consult with your coaches, mentors, and adults to consider all of the dangers before any activity.
At minimum, safety glasses are required at all times while working on the robot and inside the pits at any competition. Additional PPE could be required depending upon what is recommended by the tool maker or your coaches and mentors.
If you do not know how to use a tool, please ask. Mentors are here to teach you how to safely use them. If you do not feel comfortable using certain tools, please have a discussion with the coaches and mentors. Hammers are a useful tool when used properly and for the appropriate task.
Hammers can easily cause injury to body parts in the line of fire. It is not uncommon for shards or debris to become projectiles from using hammers.
There are many different types of hammers, and each has different uses. Common ones in our fab are the claw, ball peen, and a dead blow. Wrenches provide the mechanical advantage of a lever on fasteners. Care should always be taken whenever force is applied to consider the direction that force is going if anything breaks free or slips. Having the wrench correctly sized for the fastener is critical to their function. Here's the combination wrench, which contains an open end and a box end. These are made to a fixed dimension. An adjustable wrench is an open-end wrench with a movable jaw. It is best to make sure that this is properly adjusted to the fastener, otherwise it can cause damage or injury. Socket ratchet sets are very useful and allow for fast assembly and disassembly of parts. These are quite similar to a box-end wrench without the need to remove and reposition. Just like with other wrenches, consideration of the direction of force and correct sizing should be considered. Making sure that the socket is properly installed to the ratchet is another aspect to check. Pliers are great for gripping, bending, and even cutting some objects. As these are hinged tools, there can be pinch points to be aware of. The pivot and the long handles allow for significant mechanical advantage. As with many other tools, when force is applied, making sure that there is no risk if the tool were to slip. Screwdrivers are used for driving fasteners. A common misuse for them is for prying. Please refrain from this. Here we start to introduce powered tools and a powered screwdriver. For all power tools, it is important to be familiar with the safety shutoff and be prepared to quickly shut off in an unplanned event. Whether on a tool or on the robot, please keep loose clothing, hair, and jewelry clear of rotating parts. An Allen wrench is a simple driver for screws that have heads with internal hexagonal recesses. All wrenches should be properly selected for the fasteners, making sure it is clear in the direction of the force applied. Hacksaws are a common shop tool quite valuable for cutting metal. It is important to properly secure your workpiece and avoid having any parts of your body in the line of fire where the blade is traveling. A drill driver can be battery operated or use a power cord. While these are compact tools, they tend to have a very powerful motor, which easily contains enough force to cause an injury. Cutting drill bits and thread fasteners can bite into the workpiece and pull this through. Making sure there is enough clearance on the backside of the part and your body parts are clear is critical. A bent vise is used to clamp and hold your workpiece securely. Keep in mind the direction of any forces being applied and imagine what could occur if something would suddenly become unsecure. This is a great tool to provide an extra hand holding what is being worked on. This also allows you to keep your hands out of the line of fire of the work being done. There are several regions of this tool that pose pinch points. Many bent vises have a work surface or anvil on them. Just like when using a hammer, projected fragments are possible when working a part. You should always take careful consideration to the proper PPE and hazards of the work you are doing. An Arbor Press is an amazing tool which can provide a significant mechanical advantage. However, the forces applied at the work head can be in the range of tons. Arbor presses can be manual or hydraulic. Consider the pinch points. This device can shatter parts and break bones. Please use with care. Angle grinders are another commonly used shop tool. These small but very powerful tools need to be respected. Because this tool has a rotating head that spins at a very high speed, you should consider what what is at risk when using this tool. Keep all body parts clear of the region that work is occurring and in the direction that the tool could travel. Rotating equipment has an additional hazard of being able to tangle clothing, jewelry, or hair. An angle grinder and many other tools can easily pull those items with enough force to cause injury or pull your body parts into the danger zone. Angle grinders can generate sparks and hot pieces of metal. These too can cause injuries or start fires. Members must be trained and approved by a team mentor to use this tool. This tool cannot be used without the permission of a team mentor. Soldering irons provide enough heat energy to melt the metal being used to make electrical connections. This can easily cause burns from the iron, solder, flux, and from the parts being worked on. Many solders contain metals and chemicals that can be toxic. Proper hygiene should be taken. These also need prior approval before use. Similar to a handheld drill, a drill press can be a valuable and useful tool. This is another rotating piece of equipment. Making sure not to wear jewelry, loose clothing, and tying hair back is critical. Not only does the drill head and tool pose a hazard, a common mistake is the workpiece can bind with the tool and if not properly secured, can also begin to rotate with the tool head. Never grab for a moving part, instead shut the tool off. Unplug and work carefully to get these disconnected. Mentor approval is also needed for using the drill press. Powered saws can quickly and efficiently cut through wood and many metals. It can also quickly cut through body parts. This is another rotating tool that deserves respect. Blades can be sharp and cause injury even when not in use. Debris and dust can be generated from use. Proper PPE and shop hygiene should be performed. Members must be trained and have permission to use this tool. Saw blades are sharp and pose a cut hazard even when not in motion. Bandsaws routinely require manual manipulation of the workpiece. Never apply excessive force when cutting parts. This can cause blades to break or parts to slip, resulting in injury. Bandsaws have several adjustments that can offer added safety to the operation. Members must be trained and approved to use this tool. Powered sanders are great tools to have within the fab. While a sander does not have an obvious blade, which makes them seem safer than chop saws or bandsaws. However, the powerful motor, rotating belt and pinch points, still make these tools dangerous and something that needs considerable caution. Just like with all rotating equipment, no loose clothing or jewelry should be worn, and any long hair needs to be tied back. These tools can also generate dust and debris. Proper PPE should be used. Team mentors can train and approve members, and these should not be used unless authorized. The TIG Welder is a great tool we have access to. Welders use a high voltage power supply and compressed gas to melt and fuse metals. When used properly and in the correct environment, this can be an exceptional tool. Due to the inherent hazards, members must be trained and approved by a team mentor. Measuring tapes consist of a thin metal ruler which retracts by a spring. Please recognize that the metal edge of the ruler can be sharp. There is something quite charmed about these that tends to lead to horseplay and many times injury. Please refrain from using these as a toy. While there is little safety risk with these tools, they do contain pinch points and pointed tips. These are precision measuring devices and can be easily damaged by misuse. A bolt is installed by turning a nut to tighten the fastener, while a cap screw is installed by turning the head of the bolt to assemble and tighten. Therefore, cap screws are often threaded to a tapped hole on a piece of equipment. Safety is a key to the foundation of a successful team. You should feel open to having safety discussions with your coaches, mentors, and team members. Safety concerns should always be brought up and addressed immediately. Horseplay around tools is never acceptable.
Thank you for reviewing the Shop Tool Guide brought to you by the Freeland Fabricators.